I've been clearing out my house because it's a mess, and I found all my old report cards. Can you believe? So I thought I'd share them with you, and just stuff that I thought about along the way, like my attitude towards results and how that has changed over the years. Some fun stuff, like apparently I was very playful because everyone tends to be quite playful. She's, however, still young and playful. This is one in kindergarten. She participates enthusiastically in all activities. However, she needs to pay more attention during Chinese lessons. So those are the kind of things that teachers used to write about me, which I heard from current school teachers that's just euphemism for she talks a lot, when they say things like she gets along well with her friends. Let's go right into primary school. So I was from Katong Convent and I was slightly above average. I did pretty okay in school. I would get, I guess, primary 1 and all that A's and stuff like that. But then let's fast forward to primary 6. I was doing okay, I would get A, B, B, A, B, A. I mean, like I said, slightly above average. But my dad at that time, because I got into a lot of disciplinary problems in school, he said that enough Catholic schools, enough mission schools where everyone's very nice and very kind. He wanted me to go to a very strict government school. And at that time, the top girls' schools in Singapore were St. Nick's, RGS, and TKGS. These were in the top 10. So he decided to put me in TKGS because you had to place your school first. And I was like, there's no way I would be able to get into there because I think the entry grade for that was 241 that year, or 240 or something like that. So from A, B, B, A, for some reason I actually managed to get A star, A, which is amazing. The A star not so amazing because I only study English at home, but the A for Mandarin and math is pretty amazing because mostly I averaged B's for math and for Mandarin. And the funny thing is, when I got these results, the teachers, because I was a bit of a naughty kid, they didn't believe that was my result. Some of them were like, huh, is that really your result slip? I guess because they didn't really believe in me. But I didn't actually feel dumb. I mean, I just knew that people didn't think I was super smart, but they didn't think I was super dumb either, which is good. But I think the lesson to take away is don't believe what people think of you. If your teacher says you're real dumb, it may not be true. I mean, they only judge it by your grades, and even for exams, even to this day, I think it was kind of a fluke that I got an A for Mandarin. Also, I memorized a lot of things, so it's fluke plus a lot of hard work. It doesn't mean that I'm extra smart or whatever. I just memorized everything. Let's say the Chengyu. I would memorize many, and I would just throw it onto the essay. I would remember sentences, chunks of things that I would just, I just do it by literally rote learning, and I just had a good short-term memory, so that helped me. But what I took from it was that my dad believed in me more than I did, because he was so sure that I would get into the school. And don't believe everything your teachers say. So next, secondary school, I went to TKGS, which was a real culture shock from going from a convent school to a really strict girls' school. It's I suddenly had to show up for classes. Who knew that was a concept? I actually had to show up to school on time. Again, in primary school, I would just roll in at 8 o'clock and everyone's nobody cares, they write down your name, nothing happens. But here it's I would be in detention all the time. But that's it, my results were actually okay. I mean, I was an average kid. I had class position 18 out of 39, which in convent schools, they never give you a class position because it's very demoralizing. But in government schools, where they want you to do better, they give it to you. But what I want to make special mention of are my results in Sec 3. Now, I failed my overall. I failed 1, 2, 3, 4 subjects, and some fails were really bad. Chemistry, I had 29%, F9. A math, 22%, F9. Normal math, 44%, which is E8. And then Chinese, 42%. Oh, E8, not F9. So that was bad. And then I failed my overall. I had 47 out of 100%. And I could have potentially been retained, I think. But for some reason, I didn't get retained. And I just chose to, after that, drop chemistry entirely because there was no art stream in the school. And that's the other thing to pay attention to. If you're going to a secondary school and you're going to be a language person or an arts person, don't go to a school that only has science streams. So at that time, TKGS only had science streams. I picked double science, so bad at it. So what I did was I asked my mom for tuition, and then I just I practiced math every single day for the 3 months running up to my O-levels. Just because, you know, if you're really bad at something, you can still get a good grade if you work hard enough. Really, you really can, because I think I managed an A in the end, which is amazing, which is, if you ask me to do it now, I wouldn't be able to do it. In secondary school, my prelim results really scared me because I had like over 30 points and that would have gotten me nowhere. And my overall goal in life was to get to university. Don't ask me why, but I just remember in primary school, my parents said no one in my family has ever gone to a local university. We have no money to send you overseas. We will never have money to send you overseas. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I'll do it myself. Right? So then this was kind of like, when I got that sort of horrid grades in Sec 3, I was like, it's time to really sit down and make sure I get to JC. So, because at that time, it's much easier to get to uni from JC, so poly was not an option at all for me. My O-level results, not great. I had 12 points in the end. Actually, looking at it, no, the improvement I made is quite good lah, but I was not happy with it at the time because I couldn't go to the JC that I wanted to, and I felt a bit dumb compared to my friends, which is very silly. Now looking back, I think no one should feel like that. The whole point of like these big exams are just to go to the next phase, and the next phase for me actually was just to go to JC, which I did. So actually I should have just been happy like that, but I just beat myself up over my results, even though my parents never bothered to really beat me up over my results, except when I was Sec 3. They actually beat me because I failed and I gave them attitude about it. It's terrible. A-levels, so I went to TPJC and I felt like a bit of a big fish in a small pond because I was used to a very competitive environment and it was quite chill actually. Everyone was pretty chillaxed. I even got offered S paper for literature and I didn't think I was that good, but apparently I was the best in the cohort at that time. I ended up failing it, by the way, so it doesn't mean I was that good in the end, but I just found that I had a passion for literature, for reading, and I had a flair for writing. So that's the good things that I learned in JC. And actually it was S paper that got me going, that kept me going, because I found JC to be really mundane. I don't know if you guys are in JC right now, but it's horrible. I hope they've changed the system. But it was so uninspired learning, and the only thing that was exciting was S paper because we would pick our own novels and then we would talk about it at a higher level, and it was one-on-one tutoring. Whereas the rest of it was very, you know, it was A-levels where I felt like my soul died a bit. I had one tutor for econs who was really good, and I think that's when the tutors really helped. My prelim results were crap. I ended up with a C, E, D, which I think would have gotten me nowhere. At least not in the courses that I wanted, which was either business or comms. And I had an F9 for Chinese. Surprise, surprise. I was very upset, especially with my GP results, because I had a 3. I mean, I'm supposed to be good at English and I had a 3. That's lame. So I was a bit upset, and then I worked a bit harder for A-levels, but I ended up with an A-level score that I was not very happy with also. I ended up with a BCC. And the day I got my A-level results, I remember was like one of like the worst days in my life, at least at that point. I received the results, I looked at them, then I just walked out of the school and went somewhere private, and I just didn't want to talk to anyone the whole day, and I just cried because I was so ashamed of my results. Like, I was really, really ashamed. I thought I would do a lot better. And BCC is enough to go into most unis and definitely the courses that I wanted to go, but I just thought it was a very lame result. And how could I have gotten a B for lit when I was an S paper student? That's the most annoying thing. So to this day, I think this is the first time I'm sharing my A-level results with anyone because I just found it to be very, very embarrassing. What I took away from it though was that it got me to the course that I wanted in SMU, and that was all that really mattered. So I would say if you didn't do as well as you would have liked to do for a big exam like A-levels, O-levels, is really not the end of the world, because you can do it privately, or as long as you can get into the course that you want to get into, whether by grades or by sports or by some way, just get there and then just work harder at the next level. So that's what I learned. But at 17, was it 17? 18 years old, I was devastated with my A-level results. And then came university, which I think was the high point of my education. High point meaning I actually really enjoyed university. Like, I enjoyed studying, I enjoyed learning. I thought that I learned so much of stuff that I really cared about, and I think this has to do with picking the right course. I wasn't sure. I wanted to do comms because I thought I would be a writer. But for some reason, my dad went with me to the SMU open house, and I'm forever grateful, Dad, because he said, I think you should go here, because like no rules on this university will suit you. So in university, I did relatively well. The first year, I had like A, B, C, and then I stopped getting C's, just A's and B's. And then I met this guy, and then we got together, and we had a very competitive relationship. So he was, I think, doing straight A's, and for some reason I just think didn't think that he's a lot smarter than me. So in my head, I'm like, if he's getting all A's, why am I not getting all A's? And then we started studying together, and I was like, there's no reason why I'm not getting all A's. So then when we were together, my results, the next year when we were together, I got all A's. And then when we broke up, I was determined that I would do better than him and that I would also make it to the dean's list, same as him. And so yes, very proud to say I did make it to the dean's list and stayed there for 2 years. So that was my university life. I think I enjoyed studying then because I was very motivated and I was very clear about what I wanted, which were only A's, no A minuses, A's and A pluses. That was it, right? So anything less than that to me was a failure. But it also made sure that I had very clear goals and I had very clear thoughts on how to achieve that. Because the SMU system, don't know if it's the same, but if you're still in school, you just have to spread out your time wisely, right? So you gotta go for every class, so you get class participation, then you have to do well in your report, which was not a problem because I'm a writer, and then you had to give a good presentation. So that's when I learned how to give a good presentation, which has helped me in my career. The one thing though that happened for me, I think it's happening for a lot of you from what I've been hearing, is that in university I was so clear that I wanted to do well, make it to the dean's list, which I did. But then when I graduated, I had no idea what I wanted to do. Everyone then who had good grades would go to finance. But I didn't want to do finance. I didn't even major in finance. And then everyone's like, oh, it's such a waste for you to go into like a marketing job. Right, so I was like, yeah, okay. In the end, I ended up in advertising, where I realized that I didn't even need a degree to get into advertising. Seriously. It served me not at all to have a degree. And I was a bit lost, honestly. So then after a MediaCorp called and I decided, okay, I'll try this out for 2 years. Again, not sure what the degree was for. It gave me a better starting pay lah. That was it. Because they based it on our education. I guess they had nothing else to base it on. But that was it, and I was lost for the longest time. And now that I actually, have businesses where I employ people, the thing that I've realized, even in the employment, actually especially in the employment process, is that grades really don't mean anything. Well, not if you want to be in this industry at least, right? Because I found that there were people who were very book smart and they turned out to be not great at the job, I feel, because maybe they've always just relied on that. And I feel that the people who have taken a longer way to get there or have worked, real work experience to me actually means a lot more than education when it comes to hiring. So if your main goal in life is to study hard and get a good job, whatever good job means, make sure that that job values your education. Because right now, as a person who's hiring, I actually really don't. I mean, it's nice if you have a good education, but that's not really what I value at all. So this whole long-winded process is just to share that I realized grades are not everything, although for the longest time they were my everything. If you do badly in school, it's really not the end of the world because there are a lot of other options you can take now. And if you do badly in school or you've just never been an academic person, I think that maybe the question to ask early on is what you actually want to do. Like if you think about, it's very hard to know what you want to do when you're growing up. I didn't know. But to think about what sort of industry you might want to be in. Right, at least, if you know you want to be in like F&B or in media, grades really don't count for much at all. I would say spend your time like improving your skills and improving your experiences in these industries, because that will make you a lot more hireable. And as someone who looks at CVs, that would make me actually like take a second look to know that you're proficient in, say, video editing, or that you've had experience working a job that require a lot of energy or a lot of initiative. Like, to me, that's like something that I would look out for. And finally, even if you're a really good student, good for you. I think education does expand the mind, and I would encourage everyone who can afford to do it to go through the system. But I will also say you should spend more time getting more experience, because that's what I regret not doing. Like, I worked holiday jobs because I needed the money. Actually, I just modeled a lot because the money was good. But I could have done stuff that would have kind of helped my career better, I feel. Right? So like I said, if you're interested in media, then go learn how to edit videos and start like editing, like just making your own videos for fun, because it's really the experience that will make you better. If you want to work, like I said, in F&B, go and work in a restaurant. That sort of real life experience is what really, really matters. So that's it. I have shared with you my life story in a nutshell and my results. Stuff that I haven't shared with a lot of people. So I hope that you don't feel badly if you've done not as well. And drop me a line in the comment box below if share with me how you felt after your A-level, O-level results, because my A-levels, yeah, to this day I remember how I cried when I received my A-level results. So stupid. Yeah, drop me a line, let me know, and let me know if you're interested in any other industry, if you need advice. I don't know how helpful I'll be, but just ask me anything. I'll try to advise you as far as possible. And yeah, keep improving yourself and keep working hard. It doesn't mean working hard is just about studying, just working hard in all areas of life. Sounds so deep. Alright, this most serious video is about to come to an end. I'll catch up with you on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. Keep talking, keep studying, keep working. Bye!